we didn't feel very explosive in general on offense. Had a couple shots where it just didn't work out, and in general it was just kind of a 3-yard type of game. And you're not going to win doing that versus these guys. You know, you've got to score more points than that. You got to convert third downs. You know, we were coming in. We were one of the best teams in the country, over 50% on third down. They did a great job against us today, and we didn't get it done.
Why do you think the offense wasn't clicking? I mean, it had been playing extremely well coming into today.
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. I think you know, they probably played better in the front seven than I think maybe most people would have thought, or that they had at times during this year. But you know, I think that defense, and I said it throughout the week, that defense didn't get any credit, but they're in a tough situation. You know, they play well. They play well enough to win on defense over there, and they get put back on the field all the time after a minute. So I think that defense is better than we give credit for, and we helped them out today. We were terrible.
It seemed like everything was pretty much the way you described it the last 2 weeks, as far as them, everything that was surprising. Did you feel anything happened that was different than?
No, I didn't. And I didn't feel out there. You know, I was kind of thinking coming in, I was going to feel, because it was my first time being out there against that, even though our players had. And I thought I'd have the feeling like we couldn't even breathe out there, and it was so fast we couldn't even get lined up. I thought we got lined up well today, you know, comparable to what some other teams had done. And then if you're going to give them that many chances and fail that many times on offense, you know, those are two great players. You know, the quarterback and the tailback had career days today.
If there was a time in the game when that type of tempo caught up with you, was it on those 2 long drives in which they took the lead there in the second half?
I'm sure it did, but I didn't feel it as much as I thought. And I think our 2 weeks of conditioning paid off, as crazy as that sounds, giving up 600 yards.
Yeah.
But, you know, we had some games earlier in the year versus Virginia here where we were gassed at the end of the game. And obviously the tempo was nothing there, so I know that sounds pretty weird, but I actually think that, you know, our conditioning paid off watching the game and watching our defense.
Those 2 drives, and that's when you're talking about the third down defense let you down more than anything. And
Pardon?
those 2 long drives, that's where you're talking about the third down defense was the thing that bothered you the most on those?
No. For our third down offense, we were terrible on third down, and so we kept putting our defense back out there on the field. And there's a bunch of third down from there that keeps it moving and keeps our defense over there. You know, we had a number of 3 and outs. You're not going to beat them if you have 3 and outs, because they go right back on the field and you didn't change the field possession.
Lane, what happens on offense?
Like a tennis match where you have to hold serve, and if you don't, you know, on third down they get the ball back, and they break your serve and go up by 10 points.
I know nothing about tennis. So whatever that was, I don't know. But I know this. I said it all week. I don't care if you try to slow the game down or speed it up, whatever you do, you better score touchdowns against them. And so if it takes 30 seconds or if it takes 10 minutes, no matter. I know people, you know, want to have this game plan of coming in versus them and let the play clock run out, slow it down. We did not do that today at all. And because you got to score, so it wouldn't do any good to slow it down. And I think if your team, well, who am I to say we just got blown out, but I think if your team feels that mentality, you know, that you're slowing it down, you're running the clock down all the time, it'd be hard for me to face our guys. And so, you know, we've got to play a much better end of the game for the last quarter and a half. We took the lead in the third quarter and weren't able to hold on to it, which has happened to us a number of times this year.